Today, for our 5 Qs with series, we are right here with Ahmed Ashraf, Head of B2C E-commerce at L'Oréal. Welcome, Ahmed, and thank you for being here and answering our question today.
Thanks for having me. Really excited to chat to you.
Yay, of course. So as you know, the Launch Matrix 5 question with series is a way to connect industry leaders from the fashion, luxury, and beauty industry to share their best advice and expertise.
Yep.
So I have my 5 Qs ready for you, and let's dive into it if you're ready.
What do I love about my role is actually that no 2 days are the same. So I work in e-commerce. And so I could start my day looking at everything to do with website merchandising or website execution, but, end the day looking at, how do we provide services to our customer, or how do we better drive engagement across our on-site channels. I think profiles in digital, the exciting thing about our roles is that more and more is expected of us as our websites and our D2Cs become almost like the flagship store and the flagship experience for all our customers.
Okay, let's go to question number 2.
When it comes to digital, I think last year was definitely the year of a complete transformation. I think previous to that, businesses talked about digital transformation or digital capability within their businesses, but when stores were closed for many months last year, I think that's when there was a real shift in mindset as to how important digital was, and actually a real mindset change as to how digital needs to be prioritized, structured, funded, invested, and also people need to be upskilled. So I think within L'Oréal, there's been a real journey on digital transformation over the last couple of years. We have really focused on step changing how people are organized. So we've invested in digital upskilling across the entire business, not just people who work on digital and e-commerce. We have thought about how do we redeploy resources. So teams and people that used to focus on stores and offline experiences are now being moved into omnichannel roles where they're actually thinking about digital first. And I think for people who work directly on e-commerce, I think the biggest change has really been, whereas we felt like we were one channel and maybe one part of the business in a wider jigsaw puzzle, it really does feel like digital is now, I think, the center of every discussion, both on strategy, on commercial, on brand experience. And it's amazing to actually see, different cross-functional teams really start to see digital and e-commerce as the flagship experience rather than, one of many experiences. So yeah, plenty of change, and I think, but also plenty of challenge. I'd also say I think digital profiles have never been busier. I don't think there was ever a let up or slow down last year. We went into lockdown, and I think, the pressure was on. We came out of lockdown, and I don't think the expectation was that things were going to go back to where they were. And I think that's carried through. I think, so many people within digital and e-commerce have just had a really busy year last year, and then it's continuing into this. So I think everyone in the industry needs to take a moment to sort of recognize that actually it's been an incredible year of change, but also an incredible year in terms of the demands on these profiles. So, we deserve a break, a well-deserved break, I think, this summer to rest and recover.
Amazing. No, that's super exciting, especially like being in a company like L'Oréal that has been, like a pioneer for the industry in general. And I mean, it was already like very, on top of so many trends already before even the pandemic. So I'm sure like there was a lot of changes and we're expecting great things. Let's see. Okay. So the next question is actually going to be way more connected to what we are experiencing right now in the world.
So I think many lessons and different lessons for different teams. One, I would say our PR and influencer teams have learned that you can create buzz and excitement for key opinion leaders, for press, for editors, and for influencers virtually, and you can do it in a way that's still personable and still exciting. I've been really proud of what the teams have been able to deliver, for these influencers and for these key opinion leaders. Even in lockdown, we've created beautiful virtual eventing that surprised and delighted them. And I think the learning is that we can host those anytime, anywhere in the world, and still really see results. Number two, I think without being able to touch or feel or experience these products in store, the expectations on digital have only been elevated. I think now we're really thinking about, when we launch a product on the website, particularly in cosmetics, how do we bring that product to life in a way that they would experience that in store? So we're really pushing our services like virtual try-on so they can experience it from the comfort of their home. We're really pushing services like virtual consultations so they can talk to an expert, so it feels like they're in store talking to someone who really knows how to use that product. And even down to how we execute on our website, we're really thinking about how do we create better imagery or better descriptions or experiences on our product pages, so that when you're looking at that formula on screen, it really feels like it's right there in front of you. You can almost feel that texture or really see that shade. So we're working harder than ever to make sure that the customer feels closer to that product, despite being behind a virtual screen.
Amazing. No, that's fantastic. Well, we are more than halfway through. So next question number 4 is a little bit more light and fun. And here it is.
That's hilarious. That's a really good question. I would love to have a diary management tool that just found free time in your diary and found time in external diaries, so that we could spend less time organizing meetings and more time having better conversations.
Oh my God, I wanted to, please, let's find this magic wand. And it's absolutely like genius. Yes.
How much time do we spend emailing each other being like, what time are you free? And what time are you free? And can you do this time? And can you do that time?
Exactly. And going back and forth, it takes forever, like genius. Okay, so we are down to our last question. That is actually my favorite question.
One tip for my younger self, I think, is never get too comfortable. I think it's so easy to find something that you're good at and then feel like that's all you want to do. And it's also very easy to stay in your comfort zone. I think a lot of people over the last 12 months have really learned to kind of lean into that discomfort and realize that actually we're all learning. We can be experts at what we know, but actually there's a lot more that we don't know, and it's okay to admit that and acknowledge that. So for me, I wish that I had really lent into that and yeah, really pushed myself to get out of my comfort zone and get into spaces where I wasn't necessarily the expert, but I was willing to learn. And I have to say, actually, I'm really proud that at L'Oreal, I think they really, really push employees to think about their career paths, not just in a linear way where you start off in a specialty and you stay there, but to actually really explore where your career could go. I've seen some really amazing examples where people have moved between disciplines. And I really, really encourage people to explore that for themselves, but also hopefully employers to encourage that for their employees. You know, people are not just the jobs that they did last year, they have potential. And actually, I think we started to see that with COVID, where, you know, people who worked on store and offline experiences are now being redeployed to digital and online, and they're thriving. They're amazing at it. So yeah, I think my advice is never sit still.
That's truly a fantastic advice for both your younger self and, as you said, for companies. This was our last question, so we're done.
Thanks so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure.
Thank you for being here and answering our 5 Qs with. See you soon.
See you soon. Ciao.
Bye.